covering the severe weather that's ongoing across tonight. Obviously, we'll be focused on that because of the timing and urgency this evening. Tonight, however, first. So let's go ahead and take a look. Wind about 7. That risk is as high as a long update, but I did want to push in the southeast. A lot of showers and storms, non-severe variety. All right, the big Ohio, but we have several warnings that drop those watches, so you can kind of focus on the areas most at risk. These are very large, severe thunderstorm warnings to the north. There is a tornado warning, a couple of them. See if I can get some information on this. Northwestern William County and northwestern here, that tornado warning, and northwestern branch counties that is impacted by this is going to be Nottawa, Fawn River, Findlay, Burr Oak, and Klinger Lake. Okay, so up here you get towards Michigan, big area involved. That's a nasty looking squall line. There's quite a bit of wind, especially for the northern part of this line, and so I really think that the wind threat can't really be overstated. So storms are rapidly moving off to the north and east across portions of the Great Lakes right now, and then you work a little further down the line, Owen, southeastern Park, and Putnam counties. That goes until 6:15. This is for a storm capable of 60-mile-per-hour winds, and if you are, I appreciate it, and it's identified by the Storm Prediction Center. What I'm showing you here is just the general convective outlook. That is the risk of severe weather. It's just a very large, very, very large, with specific. And I'm really not, where to go, product, unfortunately. So if I go to downloads, which I know they're available, that's what we're going to find for you. We're not looking for you. Oh, here it is. I apologize. All right, so let's get into all of this I want to highlight here. South into southern Indiana, west central Kentucky, southern Illinois, the Boot Heel of Missouri, eastern Arkansas, northern Mississippi, northwestern Alabama. That's a 10% risk. So the Storm Prediction Center is playing up that tornado risk tonight. They have been. I'm not saying that I completely agree with it. I think 10% honestly might be a little overkill considering what I'm looking at. But a tornado is a tornado, and all it takes is one. In fact, they've gone so far as to highlight this area here. Anywhere you have this hatch area, that's where they're expecting the possibility of significant tornadoes. Significant tornadoes defined as EF3 or greater. So we'll watch that. I really think that main threat's going to be between about 7 and 11, maybe midnight this evening. So the greatest threat will be during the evening. We're going to lose some instability overnight tonight, and that'll help to decrease that threat. There's a hail threat that's ongoing now that will actually decrease in time as the storms move to the east. We're going to lose a little bit of the ingredients necessary for the formation of large hail. With that being said, we will quickly transition, it looks like, into a wind event tonight. And I do mean wind event, as the wind threat tonight is the highest with this system. And when I say wind threat, we're talking about a 45%. That's the large area they have hashed in the gray. That's a 45% chance of seeing severe winds of 60 mile per hour within 25 miles of any point. So that's a really actually high probability of that occurring. So wind threat tonight is what I think will be the main deal. And then we'll transition from the wind threat overnight to just general showers and thunderstorms. These storms move east tomorrow and will likely reform with the heating of the day. There is a general risk for tomorrow for the East Coast. We won't be focused on that during this update. However, with that being said, let's take you into some of the model data here as we speak, and we're going to take a look at this system, expectations this evening. We'll look ahead towards Wednesday's storm, which I think is very significant. And in fact, let's take a look at the threats for Wednesday's storm. We can do that now. So tonight, it looks like I had my mic open when I recorded these earlier. That's good to learn on the fly. It really is. So tonight, the threat is 7 for wind, 6 for hail, flood is 4, tornado 3. By Wednesday, we think the wind risk jumps to 8, hail risk 7, flood risk 7, and the tornado risk will be 5. So there's a reason I'm highlighting Wednesday for you. Okay, let's take a look at the other radar unit that we have ongoing. This is Radar Omega, if you will. In the meantime, I'm going to monitor chat here as I'm trying to work at the same time. Looking at the data together, you can see we do have thunderstorms firing. We got multiple tornado warnings. Tornado possible up here is now the tag for, let's see. So that is Angola underneath that warning. We do have several severes as mentioned. And then you work your way further to the southwest of Indianapolis, Greencastle, make your way into north of Vincennes near Terre Haute. You've got strong to severe thunderstorms go all the way down into the Boot Heel of Missouri. We'll put this into motion. You can see everything, generally speaking here, progressing nicely to the east. All right, so that severe threat's not going to last all night, all right? So that's important to note. But we are going to have our hands full. So let's walk right through the severe parameters for tonight. One of the keys here is going to be the amount of fuel or convective available potential energy, which we've been watching. And, you know, as we moisten up, as we get a little deeper into the springtime, you get more grass that is green, you get more buds on the trees. You know, a lot of the flowering trees are already blooming. It's just a sign of the moisture that has returned to the air, and that will continue to allow the lower part of the atmosphere to have higher and higher levels of moisture. That moisture is returning a little quicker this year than would be considered typical. So these moisture values, which can be converted into instability. So it's the warmth and it's the dew point temperatures, the moisture in the air, along with the temperature profiles above that help to create these pockets of instability. And so that's what we're seeing with CAPE. This is convective available potential energy. We typically this time of the year look for 1,000 to maybe 1,500 threshold for severe weather. That's anywhere you see yellow hues there, you get into 1,000 plus. If you get into orange, it's 2,000 units of CAPE, which is a lot. And then if you get into the reds or purples, that's 3,000 to 4,000. Limited to the south right now, but that's a ton of fuel. That's a lot of fuel. So we're going to have the fuel going for us. We're going to have some wind shear. This is a look at the lower levels of the atmosphere, wind shear wise, and it's sufficient. Honestly, I'm not blown away by the wind. This is the 0 to 3 kilometer helicity, and I mean, it's sufficient to get those storms turning, but it's just not a tremendous amount of wind like we sometimes see this time of the year. But it's still enough to perhaps produce tornadoes. This is STP, that significant tornado parameter, lining up very well with where the Storm Prediction Center has that chance of a significant tornado this evening. Really, it's over the next few hours. That if it is to develop, it will develop then. So here's a look at the future radar. We'll start you with 3K NAM, showing the development of that line of thunderstorms here this evening. We're going to pause it right here at, this is 7 o'clock. You can see storms across southern Indiana, non-severe, but that main line quickly moves in from the west. As it moves through Evansville, as it moves through Paducah by around 8 o'clock this evening. By around 9 o'clock, it's already approaching Louisville. It's through Indianapolis, and you can see further to the south, it'll be approaching Memphis. Again, right around 9 o'clock this evening. Here's 10. By 11, it's approaching Nashville, moving into Lexington. It's through Cincinnati, approaching Columbus, and then overnight, it just kind of weakens as you would normally expect, as storms typically do, as they lose their quote-unquote diurnal heating. All right, that's a big word. I like to get in a big word every update, right? All right, so we've got our hands full, but I do believe we need to be focused on that second system. And again, we're looking at Wednesday's system here for that potential, again, of higher risk values of wind and hail and flooding and tornadoes. So that is definitely of a concern. Let's show you the ingredients, what's coming together for Wednesday now. Going back over to our weather models, and then we'll finish up with a live radar update. Okay, I've got Angel on here. I can't tell if Columbus, Indiana is going to get anything besides rain and thunder. Angel, I'm going to come back to that radar update. You guys are going to be in line for wind would be your main threat, Angel. And then I would say that a smaller hail threat, you can't rule out a tornado. You're in a 10% area for tornadoes. It's a possibility. I'm trying not to overplay that part because I think that the weather Enterprise has probably overplayed that a little bit for this event. So tornado possible, yes, but I would expect a severe thunderstorm warning, more likely for you, with damaging wind being the big threat. All right, with that being said, we'll come back to the live radars in a couple of moments. Let's get to the data here. Now, I'm going to back this up. I'm going to show you what's happening now. So this is this evening. The storm, this is the upper level winds at 500 millibar. And what I want to show you are the winds that are helping to create the issues that we have ongoing now and this evening. I've circled them in purple. Again, jet stream winds will be there. They're just not going to be over the top strong. All right, so let me forward in time. Now look at what's rounding the bend. Look at those gigantic winds over the desert southwest. This is Tuesday, and then they eject out into the plains on Wednesday, April 2nd. This is a lot more concerning. That is a ton of wind, a consolidated jet stream. You've got a big trough of low pressure developing across the western U.S., and you've got large ridging across the southeastern U.S. That's going to feed up the moisture, and it's going to be the clash of the seasons, and we already know how that goes oftentimes. But a lot of jet stream wind energy, what I want to point out here is even beyond the initial burst of stronger winds aloft. Look how those winds keep cranking Wednesday, Thursday, Friday over the same areas. And that's because we believe we're going to see a front that develops and then stalls out. Okay, there's the approach of that front and the development of strong to severe thunderstorms late Wednesday. Late Wednesday is going to be the time frame where we have the most ingredients coming together. Okay, so Angel, did you see the F2? Did you get hit by it? It sounds like near Columbus, Indiana, from a couple of weeks ago. They had some nasty storms and a confirmed tornado that impacted them. Okay, so let's break down Wednesday. We start off the day, and I'm taking a close-up look here across the Ohio Valley. So this is the beginning of the day. We're going to have thunderstorms ongoing across the plains. We're going to have pretty strong low pressure developing. That's a 987 low over southwestern Iowa. You've got the development of thunderstorms along that cold front, and all this is going to expand east. We introduce heating, and we are going to see a lot of heating, by the way. Let's take a look at some of these parameters. Oop, that's not what I wanted to show you. This isn't it either. Let's go into heating, because temperatures are going to play a factor here. And you can see the warmth that we have coming up ahead of this storm system. So Wednesday during the day, there we go. Look at these temperatures Wednesday. Mid-70s, upper 70s, widespread into the lower Ohio River Valley, and 80s. You've even got mid and upper 80s across the deep south. It's going to be warm. It's going to be humid. Going to be a lot of energy for these storms to feed off of. Taking a look at the lower level moisture here, and we can take a look at these dew point depressions. I want to see dew points. Yeah, this is what I mean. We're going to be juiced. Look at these dew points on Wednesday. You got mid-60s way north. That's a lot of juice. And then you've got near 70 across parts of Dixie. That is a ton of juice any time of the year, specifically for this time of the year. So because of that, the expectation would be to have some fairly high CAPE values. And sure enough, that's what we're seeing here. Wednesday morning, CAPE values of 1 to 2,000 rolling through parts of the Ohio River Valley. After some showers, that kind of calms down a little bit. But look at that. Look at the amount of instability, 1 to 2,000 widespread all the way up into the Ohio Valley as we head towards the afternoon and evening, with, again, those insane numbers remaining to the south. What does that mean? So what it means to me is that we're going to see a lot of thunderstorm activity. So we have a morning round, perhaps, on Wednesday associated with the warm front, and then we get heating, and then thunderstorms explode from the west Front kind of stalls out. And then we could be looking at a lot of rain. So this is Thursday. Rain, same areas. Wednesday rain, Thursday rain. Look at that. Maybe a brief lull Friday, then it comes right back. Friday rain, maybe into the weekend. There's Friday, and then there's finally the final push, maybe, on Saturday into Sunday. So what does that mean? That means we're going to get a ton of rain. Take a look at these. This is from the GFS earlier. Rainfall totals this week, all week long. Look at that. So between now and next Sunday evening, we are showing in the red area here, this is, 2, 3, 4. And that dark red, brick red, that's 4, 5, 6. And then into the whites and purples there. That is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Even one area there showing 13 inches of rain in a week. If that happens, we're going to have major, major flooding problems. And we have no reason to believe that we're not. Because we're getting, numbers that are not too different from the Euro. Euro also showing very high numbers, not quite as high as the GFS. But I do think we're going to have some flooding issues with that. So final look at Wednesday. Here are the problems. And we do have a lot of problems Wednesday. Wind risk, hail risk, flood risk, 7 to 8 out of 10. Tornado risk will be elevated at 5. So that's Wednesday. Let's talk about tonight's threat. So tonight's threat, wind 7, hail 6, flood 4, tornado 3. So obviously we're going to have some problems there. All right, so with that being said, I did promise you one final look at radar. So I'm going to go ahead and bring that up for you now. If you have any questions, now's your opportunity, because I plan on hopping off here in about 3 or 4 minutes. All right. Hey, Scott, good to see you on here, by the way. Follow me on the Weather Live media page. Thanks for being on. All right, so storms ongoing. We have plenty of them. We are looping. Where's my loop at? Let's shorten the loop here to just see if I can last 2 hours here. Here we go. All right, looking at 2 hours of data. Nasty looking squall line working its way north through northern Indiana. It's already out of Indiana. Did prompt some tornado warnings, but now into portions of Michigan. That's a major wind threat. We have had spin-up tornadoes along this with heating to the south. It's mainly just severe thunderstorms right now, lining up along that front as it moves off to the east. We'll continue to watch that as, again, there is going to be a tornado threat this evening, and if there's going to be an area